Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. There's a moment in every team's journey where someone has to break the silence. Someone has to step up and say what nobody wants to hear but everyone needs to for the 2025 Miami Dolphins. That someone is Bradley Chubb. After watching his team stumble through a disappointing 8-9 season from the sidelines, Chubb didn't bite his tongue. He didn't sugarcoat the reality. Last year, we were lying, he said, and in that one sentence, he did something more impactful than any sack, any forced fumble, any highlight reel hit. He told the truth, the kind of truth that burns when you first hear it, but has the power to cleanse if you're brave enough to face it. The Dolphins weren't just outplayed, they were outcommitted. And coming from a two-time Pro Bowler who missed the season due to injury, those words hit different. That's not finger-pointing. That's a veteran trying to pull back a broken locker room. From the brink. Now, let's not pretend 2024 was some tragic collapse. It wasn't a dumpster fire, but it was a massive letdown. Coming off an 11-win season in 2023 and a locker room stacked with talent, expectations in Miami were sky high. Fans were talking playoffs. Some were whispering Super Bowl. Mike McDaniel's offensive flair had become the talk of the league. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were torching secondaries. Tua had finally found rhythm, but something was off. You could feel it. The offense slowed when it mattered. The defense looked lost in crunch time. And the worst part, nobody seemed truly mad about it. That fire, that desperation that fuels contenders just wasn't there. Chubb saw it, he felt it, and now, in retrospect, he's calling it what it was, a team only half invested. A team that talked like a contender but didn't live like one. That disconnect, it's what Chubb is trying to blow up. And make no mistake, Chubb isn't just a bench warmer with a loud mouth. He's a former first-round pick, a pass-rushing machine, a tone setter when healthy. He's chaos in cleats, violent hands, elite motor, and a nose for the football. He knows what greatness looks like because he's been part of it. So when he speaks up, it means something. This isn't a guy trying to deflect blame or stir drama for clicks. This is a competitor who watched a season rot from the inside and refuses to let it happen again. And now, as he returns from injury, he's not just trying to make tackles, he's trying to change the temperature of the whole damn room. He wants urgency, accountability, sweat equity. If the Dolphins want to go from flash to force, they need leaders who demand more. Chubb's honesty, that's not a critique, it's a challenge. And it's exactly what Miami's been missing. Let's talk facts for a second. The Dolphins' defense in 2024 wasn't just average, it was underachieving. They finished 27th in sack rate. That's not just a step back, that's a nosedive. A unit with this much talent should never look that toothless. A measly 5.77% sack rate. That's a number that screams we're not getting home. It's not just bad luck, it's effort. It's attitude, and it's execution. That's why Chubb's return could be the most important storyline of this offseason. He's not just a guy who can bring the heat, he's a guy who can inspire it. Set the edge, collapse the pocket. Force turnovers, he's the kind of player that makes offensive coordinators sweat on Tuesday nights. But more importantly, he brings a standard, a non-negotiable. One that this defense sorely lacked last year. His absence wasn't just felt on the field, it was felt in the identity. Now that he's back, the tone changes. You can already feel that shift at Dolphins camp. The vibe is different, the energy is real, and guess who's at the center of it? Chubb. The man earned the orange jersey this week, Miami's way of honoring standout practice players. That wasn't ceremonial, that wasn't sympathy, that was earned. And when Chubb talked about it, you could hear the hunger in his voice. It was dope. He said, with a grin that masked months of frustration and grind. He's not chasing his old self, he's trying to build a better one. The guy's not coasting, he's grinding, rehabbing, studying, pushing. He's putting in the kind of effort that becomes infectious. Because leaders like Chubb don't just raise their own game, they lift everyone around them. If that mindset spreads, and there's already signs it might, the Dolphins might be on the verge of an internal revolution, one rooted not in hype, but in hunger. For fans, this is the kind of thing you cling to when belief is shaky. Because let's be honest, Dolphins Nation has seen this story before. Seasons full of hope that end in heartbreak. Star-studded rosters that collapse under pressure, flash without finish. So when a player like Chubb steps up and says, "We were lying," it's not just a quote. It's a line in the sand. It's someone admitting that what you saw was real and that it wasn't good enough. And more importantly, it's someone promising that it won't happen again. That's leadership. Not the kind that wears a C on the jersey, but the kind that starts with uncomfortable truth and ends with inspired effort. And that's what separates teams that stay average from teams that rise. You don't fix culture with slogans, you fix it with honesty, with action, and Bradley Chubb is bringing both, still with us. Then show some love, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? That honesty may just be the fire Mike McDaniel needs, too. The quirky offensive genius is now entering a pivotal chapter in his coaching tenure. After 2 seasons of promise, year 3 was a gut punch, and Chubb's words, though aimed at the team, might also be a not-so-subtle nudge toward the coaching staff. Culture doesn't build itself. Accountability has to be baked into everything from practice to game day. If 2020 showed us anything, it's that this team had talent but not toughness. They had schemes but not soul. McDaniel has the chance now to recalibrate, to lean into Chubb's truth and let it reshape the foundation. Because if they don't, if this becomes another year of almost, then the seat gets warm and the window starts to close. Great coaches listen to their leaders, the best ones act. Now it's on McDaniel to show he's one of them, but this isn't just about coaches and captains, it's about the ripple effect. You want to change a culture, start with the core. Guys like Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Jevon Holland, young, hungry, loaded with potential. Now imagine those guys watching Chubb coming off injury, grinding, speaking truth, showing out in camp. That's how you set the tone. That's how you build something real. Because talent's never been the problem in Miami. It's belief, it's cohesion, it's accountability. And when veterans walk the walk, the rest of the locker room follows. That's the hope now. That Chubb's fire becomes contagious. That the soft spots harden. That the missed tackles and mental lapses fade into memory. Because this defense, it can be great, but only if they stop chasing highlight plays and start chasing each other toward greatness. And if Chubb's message lands, that chase just might be on. Here's the thing, Chubb didn't have to do this. He could have stayed quiet, blamed the injury, waited for week 1, but that's not who he is. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what the Dolphins have been missing. A guy willing to tell the uncomfortable truth because he cares more about the team than the headlines. His words hit because they're real. Because they come from pain and experience and belief. Not just in himself, but in what this team could be. That's why this moment matters. Because 2025 won't be defined by what's said in pressers. It'll be defined when it's 3rd and long and the game's on the line. Will Miami rise this time? Will they fight harder, push further, care more? Those answers are coming, but they start right here with a voice, a challenge, and a new standard echoing through Dolphins camp. If the Miami Dolphins want to silence the doubters and shed the label of underachievers, it has to start from within. Bradley Chubb has laid the groundwork. He's lit the match. Now it's time for the rest of the locker room to fan the flames. The truth is, they've got the roster, they've got the coach, they've got the star power. But none of that matters without heart, without buy-in, without that obsessive, relentless pursuit of something bigger than stats and headlines. Chubb's return is more than a comeback story, it's a wake-up call. And if this team finally answers it, if they stop lying to themselves and start fighting for each other, then 2025 could be the year everything changes. The year the Miami Dolphins stop being a maybe and become a must-watch. And if that happens, every team in the AFC better take notice. Because the storm is building and Chubb is leading the charge. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.